Resilience is the ability to see failure as a temporary setback that can be recovered from quickly. It's also the ability to maintain a positive and solution-focused attitude in times of great instability. A resilient leader is one who is able to find ways to move forward and avoid getting stuck in times of uncertainty. Resilience is something that can fluctuate over time. For example, it can erode slowly if we do not bounce back from the normal pressure and stress of everyday life. It can also drop quickly because of a significant emotional event or a particularly stressful time. Resilience, particularly leadership resilience, has never been more important than it is right now, given the times we find ourselves in. It is also something that we can cultivate in our own lives if we are deliberate about it. In this video, I'd like to share one tool with you that can help you build your resilience. Now, one essential part of resilience is maintaining a positive but realistic outlook. In other words, having realistic optimism. And I'd like to share with you my traffic light system when it comes to your thinking that will help you build that realistic optimism. The red light stands for stop. We think about 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, most of which are repetitive. When we think the same thought often enough, we begin accepting it as truth. In other words, we begin believing it. Now, our beliefs drive our behaviors and our actions and behaviors drive the results we get. You may find yourself at a time like this thinking more unhelpful thoughts than helpful ones. Unhelpful thoughts like, I can't take much more of this, or I just don't know what to do. When you find yourself thinking unhelpful thoughts, remember the red traffic light. Stop. The amber light means to evaluate. In other words, evaluate your thinking. You can use the THINK acronym to do that. Now, the THINK acronym is something that my children taught me. They in turn learned this at school when it came to communicating with their friends and their peers in the classroom and on the playground. But I believe it is a fantastic tool for evaluating the way we speak to ourselves. The T stands for true. Is it true? Is this thought that I'm thinking fact or is it feeling? H, helpful. Is it helpful? Is it helping me or is it hindering me at this time? The I stands for inspiring. Is it inspiring me to be solution focused? Is it inspiring me to find a way forward? The N stands for necessary. Is it necessary for me to be thinking things like this at this time? And the K stands for kind. Is it kind? Are you practicing self-care when you think those things? What would you say to someone you really cared about who brought that thought to you? So when it comes to evaluating our thinking, apply the THINK acronym. And if it fails any of the criteria, then we move on to the green light. The green light stands for reframe. In other words, we need to reframe those unhelpful thoughts. Is there another way of looking at the situation? Can we change our perspective by zooming out and looking at the situation from a different angle? Now, positive reframing, it helps you become creative and solution focused. It also gives you the confidence and the determination you need to persevere. And lastly, it helps you take responsibility for the things you can control. So, for example, instead of thinking things like, I can't take much more than this, how about, I have what it takes to get through this? Or instead of thinking things like, I just don't know what to do, how about, I may not have all the answers, but there are some things I do know. There are some things I can do, and they are X, Y, and Z. So to summarize, one crucial part of building resilience is by maintaining a positive but realistic outlook. In other words, having realistic optimism. You can do that by applying the traffic light system to your thinking. The red light is to stop. The amber light is to evaluate using the THINK acronym. And the green light is to reframe those unhelpful thoughts.